Hi there, welcome back with me DK in Ielts Vlog, episode 14, unit 14, writing task 1. Let's start. Yes, let's start how to start your writing in task 1. So, first we will learn how many different formats in Ielts writing task 1. So there are 5 different formats of questions in Ielts writing task 1. The first one is bar chart, and then you can start your sentence with writing the bar chart illustrates about. You've got also pie diagram over there, or pie chart, and you can start your sentence with writing the pie diagram describes about. And then the third one is table. You can start your writing by the table shows. And then the fourth format is line graph, and you can start your writing with the line graph tells about. And finally, you've got flowchart or process. You can start your sentence by saying the flowchart diagram or process explains about. Yes, as easy as pie. You can use this format to start your writing. Yes, let's start with exercise 1, warming up. You've got a table over there. In this warming up, you should learn how to start your writing, and we do not need to write until 150 words. So you've got 6 different activities over there on the left column, and on the right column, let's count. In total, we should have 100 for this to make it easier. So let's start from skiing. So let me make 10 people. While cooking, we've got 5. After that is playing badminton, we've got 20 persons. And then next activity is shopping with 35. And then we've got painting. Let's say we have 15. And listening to music, sometimes we have also the same number, 15. So the total will be 100. Let's start with some expression we will make in this task 1 of Ielts writing task. Yes, you can start with the data. We can make number, for example, 5 out of 10. We can also describe by saying percent, for example, 50% of. And then we've got fraction, a third of. You can also make general statement, for example, the most, the second most, and then the third most, and the least. Or you can also write in different expressions. For example, the majority, a large number of, and then very few and hardly any. So let's start with the sample answer to describe this table. Let's make a simpler one. So the table, yes, and then describes, let me type about, yep, because we've got no title over there. Let's make our own title, because this is warming up, so we can make up a title. Let me write the leisure activities done by, okay, who? Because usually in the data we have the title and then who is doing that and then the timeline. So because this is only warming up, let's say by students of, for example, a university student. This is a students of, let me type, Ebright University. When? Let's try at weekends. And then we've got the first sentence. Let me type the second sentence about the general overview. There are 6, because you've got 6 different activities. Let me type by saying there are 6 different activities: skiing, cooking. We do not need to mention all the 6 categories in the writing. So we will make a detailed statement later in the next paragraph. Let me continue typing. Different activities with the total of 100 students. Yeah, the total is 100 students over there. So make sure you type the correct data. Do not make any opinion, because opinion we will write it in task 2 of the IELTS writing tasks. So let's proceed with second paragraph. So let's make a detailed statement from the majority activities done by the students. So the most popular one. So let me type the most. We will make a general statement first, and then we can combine with detailed statement. The most popular activity, yes, you've got the most popular activity over there, is shopping. With now we put the detailed number of shopping with 35 of students. Yeah, because we decided to make students over there because it's at Ielts University. Students prefer to do this at weekends. Great, full stop. And then let's proceed with the second most popular, and then we can change format. The first sentence I decided to make the adjective first. The most popular activity is, and then the activity, which is shopping. Now I would like to type then playing badminton. You've got 20, so it's the second most popular activity done by the students. Ranks as the second most. We've got popular. Let's make different word. For example, the most second most famous activity picked or chosen by. Let me continue typing. The students. And this is followed. Let me proceed with the next activity. Actually, we don't necessarily sometimes write the numbers over there by painting and listening to music, because painting and listening music have the same numbers, so we will make it into one sentence over there. So sometimes you need also to show your ability to write complex sentences. So do not only write in simple sentence, because you will lose mark. With the same account of 15 students over there. Great. Let's proceed with the next sentence. Let me type. After that, you can also use sequence words, for example, then, after that, followed by. Yeah, so after that, skiing is placed in the 4th rank with skiing is around 10 students and like to do skiing at the weekends. So, and at last, you've got the word and over there. It shows your ability to make complex sentence join between clauses. At last, the least rated activity is, of course, cooking. And then we can state how many students are there with only 5 students. Great! So you can use this template and we can just change the subject, the object, and also the data. Let's proceed to the next exercise. Let's proceed to exercise 2, pie chart. Yes, you will also often see this kind of task format in writing task 1 of the IELTS. Let's see the task tip first. You must get the facts right or you will lose mark over there. So the title over there is Bob's Music Store Sales. So the highest one is DVDs with 60%. You've got also PC games with 20%, CDs with the blue color, you've got 15%, and the green one, posters, represents only 5%. We can use the template answer over here, and we should put the data correctly. Let's see what kind of expression we can use to fill in the blank. So this is a template. Later you just can change the subject, object, and also the data. So percent comes after a number, for example 10% of, and then you've got also the word percentage over there, comes after article the, a, this, that, and it's usually followed by an adjective, for example a high percentage of, and then both percent and percentage go with preposition of. So let's start with number 1. According to the chart, blank of the shop sales or DVDs. As you can see, the red color represents 60% of DVD sales. So the highest percentage of, or you can also state the detailed number over there, 60%. Great. So let's move to number 2. Cities account for a much smaller blank of sales. So let's try. You've got article A over there, and then you've got adjective smaller. So based on the grammatical explanation previously, so it must be percentage, because article A followed by an adjective smaller followed by the word percentage and followed by preposition of. And number 3, while PC games account for blank of the store sales. So PC games, it's the orange color, it's 20%, so we should write 20% over here. And then the blank of CDs sold is only 15. You've got article D, and then as usual we need the word percentage. And finally number 4, you've got posters. Poster is only 5% over there, the green color, represent the blank of goods sold. So you've got the word the over there, so it must be followed by adjective and then followed by percentage. So let's try the least, and then we can also use smallest. Can you find any other synonym of least, smallest, lowest, and then followed by percentage? Great. Yeah, shall we move to exercise 3 in the form of table? Yeah, so you've got the table over there, method of travel by, and then you've got Britain, Australia, Singapore, and also walking, car, and public transport. So the tip over there, use the words in the box. What words? Let's see. You've got percent, and then on foot, percentage, figure, most or least common, and also popular for number 1 until number 7 of the writing template answer. You can change the subject, objects, and also the data in your real writing test later on. Let's start with number 1. The car is the blank means of transport for British and Australian school children. So let's move our eyes to car in Britain and Australia. So that's the highest or the most popular one. So we can use the words from the box, most common. And then with blank of students in both countries getting to school in this way. So one more time, the most common over there is the general statement. So we can use the detailed statement followed. So we should fill the numbers, the exact number for car in Britain and Australia for this, 65%. As for number 2, in contrast, only blank of Singaporean students use cars. Let's move our eyes to Singapore, use car. It's only 10%, so you've got 10, and we've put percent, the word, in the box here. And this is the blank of method of transport there. This is because it's only 10, so this is the least common method of transport there. There, the word there is refers to Singapore. Sometimes you should also use reference words. And then number 3, there are considerable differences in the blank for public transport because you've got different data over there. You've got 19, 15, 65, 20. So the correct word in the box for number 3 is figures. While for number 4, a large blank of students in Singapore use public transport. A large, you've got article A, you've got adjective large. As mentioned previously in the grammatical explanation, we should fill percentage. Let's move to number 5 in the left box, template answer. In Britain and Australia, figures for public transport are lower. So let's move our eyes to Britain and Australia in public transport. So it's 16% in Britain and 20% in Australia, respectively, or in order. And then number 6, less than blank of students walk to school in Britain and Australia. Let's see the heading Britain and Australia. Walk. So 19 and 15. So both numbers 19 and 15 below or less than 20%. And then the last one, number 7. For Singaporean, let's see Singapore one more time. Walking is that you've got 25% over there. So it means this is the second most popular option with a quota of students traveling to school. The last word, on foot. Well done, everyone. So one more time, the easiest one to learn about writing is to use these templates, and you should change the subject, object, and also the facts correctly. Great. Exercise 4, line graph. So, don't you think that line graph is very simple? It's only one line over there. Even though it seems very simple, but actually, in reality, it's very complicated one to make. So, let's see over there. In a timeline, we use past tense. For example, if we want to describe from 1960 until the year of 2000, we will use past tense in those sentences. And then in a timeline, we use present perfect for the final sentence or the last sentence if the data is still in progress up to now. As you can see, the lines over the year of 2000 over there, it still continue rising until now. It's still in progress. So for the final sentence, if you want to describe after the year 2000 until now, we must use present perfect tense in our sentence. So the title over there, you've got the changing trend in the level of car ownership in Britain. So first, you should know the horizontal and the vertical lines over there, the title also. Let's paraphrase the title. We should use synonyms. Do not copy the exact words from the statement or from the question into your writing. It's a big no-no. So let's start. From paragraph 1, the line graph shows the trends of car owners in Britain from 1960 up to present. So the word trends is changing trend, and then car ownership we replaced with car owners. And then you've got the years and also the timeline and the place in Britain. In second paragraph, we can type, in the beginning of 1960s, only a few people in Britain own cars with an account of less 5 million, as you can see over there. The figure increased sharply in the mid of 1960 to 1970 with the total of car owners doubled. So 1960 until 1970 doubles from maybe around 2 million up to 5 million owners. And the last paragraph, meanwhile, in 1980, the number of car owners reached 10 millions and doubled into 20 millions over 10 decades or years periods, and it has continued to climb gradually over 30 million owners entering the 21st century. We can use, for example, the word reach, increased, and then went up for past tense, and then attend decade, and then as you can see over there, the last sentence, it has the verb of has continued, which means it used present perfect tense. And then we can replace the year 2000, we can paraphrase into 21st century, and then from 1990 we cannot see the year of 1990 in the writing, but we replace 1990 into a 10 decade or 10 years periods. Okay, as easy as fine. So those are the introduction for the writing IELTS task 1. Well, that's all of the first episode of the Writing IELTS task with me DK in our vlog episode 14, unit 14. We will continue with another exercises in still task 1 of the IELTS writing task. See you when we see you guys.